Hello everyone, this is Abhishek Mahanti and you are watching Padarth Vigyan. So students, in this video I will solve this question, and this question is from the chapter Electric Charge and Field. So let's get started. So students, look at the question. The question is, in a free space, a thin rod carrying uniformly distributed negative charge minus q is placed symmetrically along the axis of a thin ring of radius capital R carrying uniformly distributed charge capital Q. Look at the diagram here. We have a thin rod, and this thin rod carries a negative charge minus q, and the charge is uniformly distributed over the entire length of the rod. And this rod is placed symmetrically along the axis of a thin ring whose radius is capital R. The radius is capital R, and it carries a positive charge capital Q, and again the charge capital Q is uniformly distributed over the entire circumference. The mass of the rod is small m, and the length of the rod is L equal to 2r. So it is given that the mass of the rod is equal to m, and the length of the rod is how much? L equal to 2r. Means the length is twice of the radius of this ring. The ring is fixed, means the ring is stationary, and the rod is free to move, means you can move the rod in any direction. The rod is displaced slightly along the axis of the ring, and then it is released. So you can displace the rod in along the axis, and we can displace the rod either in the upward direction or in the downward direction. So when you displace the rod along the axis either in the upward or in the downward direction, then what will happen? The rod will experience a net electrostatic force, and that net electrostatic force will act as the restoring force, and under the effect of the restoring force the rod will execute SHM. We have to find the time period of the SHM. So let me draw the diagram here. We have a ring like this, and this rod is symmetrically placed along the axis. Symmetrically placed means half of the rod is above the ring and half of the rod is below the ring. So if 2r is the length of the rod, then this portion, the length of the rod which lies above the ring is r, and the length of the rod which lies below the ring is also r. Now the length difference in the upper half and in the lower half is 0. R minus R is 0. That's why the total amount of electrostatic force acting on the upper half of the rod is equal and opposite to the total amount of electrostatic force acting on the lower half of the rod. That's why the net force is 0 and the rod is under equilibrium. This is the equilibrium position or mean position. Now, if I displace the rod slightly along the axis in upward direction or in the downward direction, then definitely there will be some difference in length in the two halves. In the upper half and in the lower half, there will be difference in length. And due to that difference in length, what will happen? There will be a net electrostatic force on the rod, and that electrostatic force will act as restoring force, and due to the restoring force the rod will oscillate, it will execute SHM, and we have to find the time period of that SHM. So suppose assume that we have displaced the rod in the upward direction by a small amount dy. Let the rod be displaced, let the rod be displaced along the axis by a small amount dy in the upward direction, in the upward direction. then what will happen? More portion of the rod will lie above the ring and less portion of the rod will lie below the ring. So the equilibrium condition is disturbed. So I can write that the length of the rod above the ring will be r plus dy, and length of the rod below the ring will be r minus dy. Now what will be the difference in length? Difference in length of the rod lying above and below the ring will be how much? The difference will be r plus dy minus r minus dy, that is equal to 2 dy. So this is the difference in the length of the rod which lies above the ring and below the ring. Since the charge is uniformly distributed over the entire rod, let us assume that lambda is the linear charge density. Lambda is the linear charge density. Now tell me, what will be the amount of charge present on this length? You have to multiply this length with lambda. So charge on the length 2 dy will be how much? dq is equal to lambda into 2 dy, that is equal to 2 lambda dy. So this is the charge, this is the total amount of charge present on this portion of the rod. And we have to calculate what is the force, what is the electrostatic force acting on this charge or on this portion of the rod. So students, we have already derived the formula for the electric field due to a uniformly charged ring. So the formula is, let me show you the diagram here. The formula is, if we have a ring and the radius of the ring is r, this is the radius, the radius of the ring is r, and q amount of charge is present on the ring, then electric field at a distance r, at this point, the electric field will be how much? Equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q into r divided by r square plus r square whole to the power 3 by 2. This is the formula. Is that clear? Because the basic formula is, suppose we have a ring like this, and this is the center, this is the axis. On the axis at a distance x we have a point, and suppose r is the radius of the ring, then the electric field at this point is given by E equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught charge on the ring into distance of the point divided by r square plus x square power 3 by 2. So here the distance is also the radius r. Is that clear? Because when you move the rod to some height, let me show you the displaced rod position. The rod is displaced in the upward direction, means now the rod will be placed like this. The rod will be placed like this. Is that clear? So dy amount of length is taken from the lower half and it goes to the upper half. So the net change in length in the two halves will be 2 dy, and since dy is very small as compared to the distance r, so we can assume that this portion is also at the same distance r from the center of the ring. Is that clear? So the electric field is how much? Electric field is how much? 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught q into r divided by r square plus r square power 3 by 2, that is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught qr divided by, it will be 2r square power 3 by 2, that is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught qr divided by, it will be 2 root 2 into r to the power 3. So this is the electric field expression, and this is the charge on the length 2 dy. Now what will the force? The force will be dF is equal to how much? The charge dq into the electric field. In place of dq, you can write 2 lambda dy, and in place of E, you can write this value 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught. Here r and rq will cancel, you will get r square here. So you can write q divided by 2 root 2 r square. So 2 and 2 will cancel, you will get q lambda dy divided by, it will be 8 pi, sorry, it will be how much? It will be 4 root 2 pi epsilon naught r square. Is that clear? So this will be the force, the net electrostatic force. And what will be the acceleration? The acceleration will be force by mass. So divide mass in this expression. So we'll get q lambda divided by 4 root 2 m pi epsilon naught r square into dy. Is that clear? Where dy is the small amount of displacement. So we know that the differential equation of SHM is A equal to A vector equal to minus omega square y vector. But if you write the scalar form, it will be A equal to omega square y. Now look at this expression here, A equal to q lambda divided by 4 root 2 m pi epsilon naught r square into dy. Here dy is the slight displacement from the equilibrium position. So this quantity will be omega square. So omega square is equal to how much? Q lambda divided by 4 root 2 m pi epsilon naught r square. So what will be omega? Omega equal to square root of this quantity, means q lambda divided by 4 root 2 m pi epsilon naught r square square root. And in place of lambda, you can put q by 2r, because lambda means the linear charge density of the rod. The rod contains a negative charge minus q, and the length is 2r. So lambda will be equal to q by 2r. So only write the magnitude of the lambda, so it will be q by 2r. So omega will be how much? Q into, in place of lambda, I have written q by 2r. So we have 4 root 2 m pi epsilon naught r square square root. So that will be equal to how much? Capital Q into small q divided by 8 root 2 m pi epsilon naught r cube square root. So after finding the omega, you can easily calculate what is the time period. Time period t will be 2 pi by omega. So in place omega, you can put this value. So you'll get 2 pi 8 root 2 m pi epsilon naught r cube divided by capital Q into small q, and give a square root symbol. So students, in this way you can find the time period of the SHM exhibited by the charge rod.